Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now, as we dig into this video, I want to say that it's going to be more of a buyer beware than it is going to be a scammer exposed. And we're going to kind of talk about that over the next few minutes. Not only will I talk about why it's a buyer beware for the individual that's listed in this video, but it's also going to be a buyer beware for Bitcoin in general. So we will talk about that now. So to begin this Scammers Exposed episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about the who is of DualMine. Now, DualMine is what's referenced in this post, and when you talk about DualMine, there's a couple of things that you need to look out for. Number one is the fact that it was registered on 3/1 of 2018. That makes it a little bit under a year old. And something else that we're going to notice too is that the name server points to Cloudflare, which means that this person has a Cloudflare account, and that's where the website was created. Now, they paid for domain protection, which is an extra cost that you can pay when you get your domain so that your personal information is not put on this, because this is a public database and anyone can go in and do searches on the public database and find out everything about that person, including what organization they represent, and even their personal address. So a lot of people, when they get these name servers or when they get these domain names, they'll pay that extra money so that their personal information is not published. Now, for that, there's no red flag. I completely agree with that. In fact, I do it for our own servers at ChangeForce because privacy is important to people, and I get it. I understand. But the fact that it's so new, and what we're going to talk about is how many promises this website makes, this is something that you want to be aware of. You want to put your investment into something that's reputable, something that's been around for a while, and not necessarily something that's not even a year old yet that's promising you the moon. But Bitcoin in general, I am not trustworthy of anyway. So let's begin by talking about DualMine. So this is the new site that was just started less than a year ago. And they run by saying get 100 gigahertz of hash power for free on sign up. So they advertise Bitcoin, of course, which they say is the biggest cryptocurrency, #1 on the market. Bitcoin is the first open source, decentralized, and most popular cryptocurrency. Now, while some of that is true, some of it is not so true. And we're going to take a look at the markets here in a few moments to show you what is the #1 cryptocurrency. Now, they also talk about dual cloud mining, which is a product offering the mining of the most profitable cryptocurrencies in the cloud. And then they also talk about Ethereum, which is the second biggest cryptocurrency on the market. So I'm not so familiar with Ethereum, so I'm going to have to do some more research on that, and we'll do that together in this video. But they talk about how you register on DualMine, how you choose how much hash power you would like, and then you pay for your contract. They activate and the mining process begins. So, why us? I didn't turn off my notifications, so CNN pops up on me there. So they talk about monthly payouts up to 15% and no exchange rate risk, only multiply your coins. The mining starts immediately after confirmed payment, no hidden fees or commissions. earn more with the referral program. And if you invest in 2 Bitcoin, which would cost you $7,947.24, with your gigahertz of power, they say that you can make anywhere between $29 and $42 a day, $874 to $1,271 a month, and between $10,000 and $15,000 a year. Sounds like the greatest thing on earth. It sounds like, let's get into this and let's get started. But it might not be as proven as what meets the eye. And we're going to talk about that. Now we're going to talk about Bitcoin and why I feel that on Scammers Exposed, it is a great way for us to show you why it's not as valuable as what people want to play it out to be. This is from Coinbase, and this shows you the value of Bitcoin from the beginning of the year all the way up to, actually it's a year ago. So from February of 2018 to February of 2019. So in the past year, Bitcoin has dropped 63.91%. It's down $6,904.44 compared to what it used to be last year in February. And that shows that it's a volatile currency. It's very risky, and that is why you have to be. Okay, so let's say that last year in February, you decided to go all out for your investment. You decided to purchase 1 Bitcoin, which at the value of that time would have been worth $10,832.48. Now you buy that Bitcoin and you put it in a Bitcoin wallet, and let's say that your wallet doesn't get hacked, because that can happen as well, and you decide to keep that 1 Bitcoin to see what happens with it over the next year. So within the next year, the Bitcoin now has fallen down to $3,918.04, which means that in the past year, you have lost $6,904.44 of your investment. So what started out as a $10,832 investment will now only get you $3,000 back if you were to exchange it in today's market. This is where the DualMine site is not exactly accurate. There's always a risk associated with anything that you do, especially when it comes in marketing and investment. And regardless of how many coins you're able to mine, you're still losing this profit, and it's not a get-rich-quick investment by any means. Now, to close out this video, I want to say that I am not an expert. I am not an expert when it comes to cryptocurrencies or anything. So what I go on is what I research. For example, earlier in this video, I said Bitcoin wasn't the most valuable, or I didn't feel that it was the most valuable cryptocurrency on the market. And looking at this, it does appear to be today. But overall, I am not in any way recommending investment in cryptocurrencies. They're too risky to me, and the value for which you can earn them it's just too much of a risk for me to say do it. I don't recommend it personally. If you do decide to ever invest in cryptocurrencies, you should always do your research and speak with someone who is an expert on cryptocurrencies in general. And some specialized experts if you expect to invest in maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is the second most valuable cryptocurrency, which is also true from what we saw on DualMine. But the thing with Ethereum is the mining works the same way that it does for Bitcoin. It's the same process, and it's the same thing that you saw earlier in this video when we went over how the mining works in general. Now, I will say that even looking at this, the chances that you're going to make money just from cryptocurrency trading are very slim. I don't see it as a profitable market, especially not now. There's just too much risk and too much room for things to happen. And that's why this is a buyer beware video. Now this guy is also going to get a buyer beware from me, especially any link that he shares about DualMine on the Facebook page or anything like that. And the reason why is because we reached out to him for comment. We reached out to him to ask him some questions, to try to find out what his success story was. And we waited several days and never heard anything back, even though he agreed to talk to us. And that is something that you have to be very aware of. If they're not willing to talk to you, then there's something that you need to pay attention to.